The study of educational neuroscience plays an important role in all the theorists that I researched. The theorists all studied children and how their brains processed information to form their theories. Whether it was how cognition leads to problem solving abilities or neurosynapses forming when a child learns something new, all theorists used brain function as an essential element in their discoveries. Jean Piaget was born in Switzerland and studied psychology. He believed that a child's process of learning took place from their interactions and that they actively built up their knowledge. He developed the 4 stages of mental development and how a child learns in each of the stages. He believed in independent exploration and discovery in all stages of cognitive development. He falls in the constructivism learning theory and developmental organismic model. Teachers can apply this theory by giving students a high quality task to produce productive struggle. Students are to use their prior knowledge and problem solving skills to try to solve the problem. B.F. Skinner went to Harvard to get his PhD in psychology, and that is where he remained teaching and studying human behavior. Skinner was a behaviorist and falls under the mechanistic model of development. He believed that when a person is exposed to a stimulus and it evokes a response, then the response is reinforced, which leads to human conditioning. Positive reinforcement leads to behavior more likely to be repeated. I found that when I punished my class, this did not stop the bad behaviors. When I rewarded my class for good behavior and they had a chance to earn their recess, I found they were getting free play a lot more often. Lev Vygotsky was a Russian psychologist who studied the development of cognition in children. He said that learning is always occurring. Children learn from play, language, and their social context. His learning theory falls under constructivism and the mechanistic model. Students create their own learning based on their experiences. They use what they are taught and add their previous knowledge. It is an active process. Teachers need to allow for children to work, play, and interact with one another to learn more effectively. Children learn from each other as well as the teacher. Albert Bandura was born in Canada but studied in Iowa and Stanford. His theory is known as observational learning, and it falls under the category of social cognitism and the mechanistic model. Learning can occur through verbal instruction by listening or watching. Observation and modeling are primary roles in how children learn. Teachers can increase their students' learning by having them observe the teacher modeling the instruction. As a math teacher, most of my lessons involve me modeling. Paulo Freire was a Brazilian psychologist who dedicated his life and studies to the poor and marginalized children in education. His theory, critical pedagogy, used to democratic approach to learning. Teacher and student are to be equal and learn from one another. His book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, is about how the traditional system of a teacher being in authority over the students does not work for the oppressed. He thought children should think critically about the world around them. His basis of learning is known as humanism, and I believe he falls in the contextual model of development. When teachers allow students to have their own thoughts and opinions about their learning, students respond better. Knowledge is power.